My brothers and sisters of Burkina Faso, and to the nations of the world who still doubt Africa, listen to me now. They said we are poor. They said we have nothing. But I tell them today, we are building something out of nothing. From the dust, from the old tires that the world throws away, we are creating cars for our people, with our hands, our courage, and our pride. You see these old tires, the world calls them waste. But we call them the bones of a new revolution. They burned our lands, they took our gold, they left us with scraps. And from those scraps, we are building our freedom. I do not speak today as a politician. I speak as a son of Africa who has seen enough humiliation. For too long, they told us that progress can only come from Europe, from America, from the West. But now the world will see that Burkina Faso builds with its own blood, sweat, and fire! Our people are no longer waiting for foreign aid. We are making our own roads, our own machines, our own destiny. When you see a car on our streets made from old tires, don't see garbage. See the spirit of a nation that refuses to die. Yes, these cars may not be made in shiny factories. They may not carry the label of the rich, but they carry something more powerful, the name of our people. They carry the courage of the youth who never gave up. They carry the hands of the worker who said, if the world closes its doors, we will break them open. My brothers, my sisters, this is not about cars. This is about dignity. This is about proving that Africa can build, can create, can stand tall without bowing to anyone. When I see our young engineers shaping tires into engines, I see fire in their eyes. I see a new Burkina rising from the ashes of exploitation. I see a people who finally believe we can do it ourselves. They used to tell us, Africa cannot manufacture. But now Africa says, watch us! Watch us take the waste you threw away and turn it into wheels of independence. Every tire we melt, every car we build is a declaration to the world. We are not your slaves anymore. Our movement is not powered by money. It is powered by faith, by will, by the heartbeat of a proud people. We are the descendants of warriors, of farmers, of dreamers. And we will build again, not just cars, but a future where no child in Africa must ever beg for bread or dignity. To my people, stand firm. Work with your hands. Lift your heads. The revolution is not in guns. It is in creation. It is in the factory, in the workshop, in the ideas that come from our own minds. The day is coming when our cars, built from the scrap they threw at us, will drive across all of Africa, from Ouagadougou to Lagos, from Accra to Johannesburg, carrying one message: Africa builds for Africa. Let the world see, we are not waiting anymore. We are building our destiny with every old tire, every spark of fire, every dream in the heart of our youth. Burkina Faso will not kneel. Africa will not kneel. We are standing, and this time, we will never fall again. So to every young Burkinabe who hears my voice, go to your workshop, your field, your classroom, and create. Create with pride, with courage, with love for your land. Because from your hands, the new Africa is born. The time of begging is over. The time of building has come. And together, we will drive into a future that belongs only to us. Long live the people. Long live Burkina Faso. Long live a free Africa. The first main point of this speech is that Burkina Faso is proving to the world that true innovation comes from courage, not wealth. Ibrahim Traoré emphasizes that his people are taking what others call waste, old tires, and transforming them into vehicles that serve their communities. This act is not just mechanical work, it's symbolic of rebirth and resistance. He wants the world to understand that every piece of scrap in the hands of an African worker becomes a tool of liberation. It represents a message that the people of Burkina Faso refuse to be defined by poverty or dependency. Instead, they redefine progress by creating with their own hands, using their own minds, and working with what they have. This transformation of waste into value sends a powerful statement to the world, that Africa's strength lies in its resilience and creativity, not in imported technology or foreign aid. The second key point focuses on the rejection of foreign dependency and the rise of self-reliance. Traoré reminds his people that waiting for others to build their future is a form of surrender. He calls on Burkinabe citizens to trust in their own ability to innovate and produce. The creation of cars from old tires is not merely a technical achievement, it's a declaration of independence. It is proof that Burkina Faso can sustain itself through its own willpower. He contrasts the image of foreign factories and imported vehicles with the reality of local workshops filled with determination. The message is clear: progress must come from within. The leader's words ignite national pride and push the youth to see that they no longer need validation from the outside world. True freedom, he suggests, begins when a nation builds with its own hands and for its own people. The third major point revolves around dignity and identity. Traoré's words are not only about manufacturing cars, they are about rebuilding self-worth. For centuries, Africa has been seen as a consumer, not a creator. By crafting vehicles from discarded tires, the people reclaim their narrative. This process restores dignity. The right to stand tall and say, "We made this." He explains that dignity cannot be imported, it must be built through sweat and perseverance. The revolution he describes is not one of weapons, but of creation, where each citizen becomes a builder of the nation's future. The leader envisions every spark from the workshop as a flame of hope. These cars are not luxury products, but living symbols of African pride and perseverance. They are proof that when people believe in their own strength, they can turn even the world's waste into instruments of progress and purpose. The fourth point expresses the rebirth of African pride and unity. Traoré speaks beyond Burkina Faso, to the entire African continent. He dreams of a time when African-made cars, born from recycled tires, travel from one nation to another as a sign of shared power and destiny. His vision calls for an awakening across Africa, a movement where every country begins to produce, create, and innovate together. He calls on Africans to lift their heads, to stop bowing before those who exploited them for centuries. This message goes deeper than technology. It is a call to consciousness. He wants Africans to rediscover their identity as builders of civilizations, as inventors, as warriors of progress. The act of building cars becomes a metaphor for building unity. One wheel, one road, one Africa, powered by the people's will. His tone is both emotional and prophetic, meant to inspire generations to think as one continent with one purpose: liberation through creation. The fifth and final point is a direct call to action, a message to the youth. Traoré urges every young person in Burkina Faso to create something meaningful for their nation. He doesn't ask them to wait for leaders or institutions. He calls them to be the creators of their own future. Every student, farmer, and mechanic is part of this national rebirth. He insists that revolution now lies not in protest or violence, but in productivity. The youth are the heartbeat of this new Africa, and their hands are the tools of transformation. Traoré believes that through their creativity and hard work, the nation will achieve real independence, not given, but earned. He ends by declaring that the time of begging is over, and the time of building has begun. His closing words echo like a promise that the destiny of Burkina Faso and of Africa belongs to those brave enough to create it with their own hands.